Hey there, communicators. Welcome to your week 2 feedback. So let's get started with some things that I saw. So when you answered your D2L general questions, I saw a lot of great things that you all discovered. A few that stood out was learning that you have free Microsoft products, which is always a good time, as well as the Care Center. So if you did not happen to see those or focus on those in your reflection, I would definitely pick those up because they're free, and the Care Center has a bunch of different sections to help you with a variety of different basic needs, from food insecurity to financial help outside of the realm of like financial aid. So please check that out because it's only here for you all. So that was that. Thank you all for answering. I hope you learned a lot. You kind of got a sense for what else the college has to offer you. Going up to general updates, please check your spelling and punctuation. A quick review, a quick glance doesn't hurt anybody. It's only going to benefit you. I got an email the other day telling me that every student at Lone Star now has access to Grammarly Premium. Now, I've mentioned Grammarly in the past as a free application to help you, kind of like a spell check, but you can put an extension on Word documents, on your email, on different websites to kind of help you make sure that you're maintaining that proper grammar. But Grammar Premium goes like 3 or 4 levels deeper, sentence structures, different things of that nature. And apparently you have it for free. I don't have any more information on that. All it said was for students to check their emails. So check your email. You should have Grammarly Premium for free, which does usually cost money, but it'll be free to you all. So yay for spelling, punctuation, capitalization, and all the things in between. So go on to the brainstorming activity. Wonderful. Like 99% of you got the gist. Throughout the weeks, I'm giving feedback, even if you get 10 out of 10 or 100% or 10 points, whatever you want to visualize it is, I still probably give some sort of feedback. So make sure you always review the feedback, whether it be good or constructive, to help improve. But I saw a lot of innovators, inventors, activists, celebrities, historical figures, athletes, all great choices to learn and share about, right? This is an informative speech. We are informing the audience, teaching them about a person. That is our goal. That's what our template's going to be based around. That's what the information is going to be based around. So you are going to learn about a person, their beginning of the life, what happened in the middle of their life, what's their legacy, what's their biggest accomplishment, what are they known for, and then share that with us. This isn't a persuasive speech where you're persuading us that they're the best of all time or they're the reason for. No, you're just sharing that information with us, and it's research based, so there's no opinions on your behalf because this is all just credible resources that you've looked into, created a nice beautiful speech, and shared with us. So with that, I think a lot of great choices, a lot of interesting speeches for us to view ahead. When it comes to the relevance, let me touch on this for a bit. Relevance can be very narrowed and pretty broad when it comes to how it relates to your audience, aka us, classmates and me. We are living in America. You can look at statistics on how many people use social media when you're talking about an influencer specifically. You can talk about how much money is in basketball in America if you're talking about a basketball player. So those 3 right there are relevant topics. So we don't have the luxury of going around the class, doing demographic research, seeing what those demographics are, therefore picking a topic that relates to your audience in that specific sense. So we have to be a little bit more broad when it comes to how it relates, but it still does have to make sense, right? So some of you picked inventors, and when it comes to inventors, are we using those inventions? So one of you floated the idea around about a person who invented the engine. Well, we all ride, drive, or see cars. That's pretty relatable to me. One of you chose Steve Jobs. Well, we all use computers in a way, and definitely iPhones, iPads, like see them. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be used, but you definitely know what an iPhone, iPad, MacBook are. So just that knowledge of knowing is already a relevancy point, because as an audience member, when I'm sitting here and you say, I'm going to be talking about Steve Jobs, the creator or co-creator of Apple, who is responsible for iPhones, MacBooks, and stuff, I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm not an iPhone person, but I know what an iPhone is. Please proceed. You know what I mean? So it has to be that relevance, that click of like, I know what you're talking about, or I have some sort of relevance, so you can move forward with confidence. So kind of think about that, because when you do your topic selection worksheet, whenever I give you the informative speech, I'm going to ask you, how does this relate to your audience? And I want you to truly kind of think about it. You can even give me like a statistic, you know, maybe a certain large percent of Americans, you know, do XYZ, therefore this person relates. It can be, you know, some of you did activists, so generally speaking, you can look at statistics, you can look at like the reformation that they did for us in the US. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. If you're kind of stuck on it when we get to that point, or you have a few different ideas, just email me, ask me some questions. We can kind of like work through it together and find the best statement to share when you are sharing it in your presentation. All right, that's enough about brainstorming. Chapter 1. So the foundations of communication, gave you a little bit of history, gave you some ideas. I think everybody did such a great job on this. Like I said, answer all parts of each question. That's going to be a big thing, but I do believe that everybody understood the basics of it all. You know, you gave me some examples of terms that were new for you. The whole idea is kind of digging into this material to be like, oh, I do this all the time. I just didn't realize there was a term for it. I didn't realize there was a name for this. This is great, right? You're getting yourself in depth with these tools. So you're building a foundation. I think it's really great. I think everybody did such a lovely job, especially with the 8 components of communication. Hopefully you had some fun with it. I loved reading the examples of it all. I think everybody did a good job distinguishing between interpersonal and interpersonal communication. There's only a tiny few mistakes when it came to the examples, but very easy. You know, interpersonal communication is all about having communication and talks with those that you have relationships with. So, you know, talking with coworkers and kind of talking about what you're gonna have for dinner. It can be as easy as that, since you have that foundation with them. And then intrapersonal communication is that communication you have with yourself, you know, thinking about what you're going to eat when you're driving home from work, or creating a to-do list, or going over a fight that you know, had, and all those things kind of lay in there. So congratulations on that. Let's go on to our final assignment that was in week 2, which was our perception PowerPoint. I will not say that very quickly 3 times in a row. But thank you so much for all of you who shared your experiences. I am sorry that these types of stereotypes that some expressed about happened, but I hope for more education for the population in the future, therefore creating more understanding and cultural understanding on top of that. Because I do think it's just a lack of awareness and education that creates some of these barriers that we're seeing. And it's quite unfortunate, especially since we've evolved to a time of 2022. So for future presentations, please be careful of harsh colors, you know, thinking about typing in green or red. Those are the most common colors that people have a hard time seeing, just as a person without a disability, but those who are colorblind also can't see those. So they're just very harsh colors. You don't need to have a presentation that's just like wild. Simple, clean design is better. As an audience member, you don't want or as a presenter, you don't want your audience members to be focused on the PowerPoint. You want them to be focused on you. So just very clean. It should enhance your speech, not take away from it. This was different because this is a turn-in assignment without a presentational part of you, but just something to think about if you ever have to do a presentation with a PowerPoint. And please check your email daily. That's it. That's all we have for week 2. Thanks for tuning in. You'll hear from me shortly, but get going on your week 3 assignments. We are kind of moving along, and you know, eventually you'll be like, oh wow, we're pretty close to the end of the semester. So keep up the great work, keep learning, keep growing, keep improving, and we'll talk soon.